Hey, welcome back to the kitchen. If you're new here, my name is Jill, and here in our kitchen, we work on things that create a life that we love. And today, we are gonna love making some fire cider. It is gonna help us with our immune system through this cold winter that's coming up. And there is a bunch of recipes online for how to make this, and people have been making it for years. It is an excellent drink that we can take to naturally boost our immune system and help when we are sick to help get a recovery a lot faster. So you're gonna find a lot of different recipes for fire cider on the internet. There's just tons of them. There's a lot of different things that you can put in this thing. You can go all out and you can put every single thing that's ever listed, or you can just put some of the stuff. Today, I'm choosing just a few items that I felt were important, but most of all, I live in a food desert. So when it comes to me having all the things that I want to make the stuff, I don't always have it exactly as I want it to be. But I'd rather make some fire cider with some of the ingredients that I have than not to make it at all and not have that immune boosting drink, medicine, whatever you want to call it, to get me through this winter. The primary thing with fire cider is we want to make it about a month before everybody kind of normally starts getting a little bit sick, because we want to be able to start taking a shot of this every day, about a tablespoon every morning, in order to keep our immune system up. And then if we do end up getting sick, then we want to take it about 3 times a day. And there's lots of different ways for you to take this that is less aggressive than just the idea of drinking some sort of flavored apple cider vinegar that's flavored with turmeric, ginger, and jalapenos, right? So one way is you can just water it down and drink it. You can drink it straight if you'd like. It might be a little bit warm on the throat, but there's lots of people that do that. Also, another way to do it is to mix it with a local organic honey. And that is an excellent way to sweeten it up and to take that edge off. Now, if you're looking for like a vegan solution, you can use a maple syrup. So get yourself a good organic maple syrup and then mix your cider with that, and you're good to go, and take it down. Like I said, you're gonna wanna take this every day just to maintain your immune system, to keep it kind of firing like it should, the best that it could. And then if you do get sick, then you want to take it about 3 times a day. And in the meantime, we're going to be storing this in a jar, sealed in a dark, cool area of our kitchen where it's not exposed to sunlight and it's not going to get warmed up. And we're going to keep all of the things while we're making it all submerged under that apple cider vinegar. We don't want anything poking up. So that's what we're going to work on today. And it's as easy or complicated as you want to make it. Like I said, I live in a food desert. So today, I'm putting in just the stuff that I have in my house already. There's a few things that I wish that maybe I could have put in there, but it's not gonna happen today. But I am gonna end up making a fire cider with what I do have. So like, I don't have quite enough garlic that I would prefer to have, but I'm okay with that. I don't know if you can see all of this, but I have 1 onion, I have a lemon, I have an orange, I have some garlic cloves, I have about 6 or 7 garlic cloves, I have 2 jalapeno seeds in, and I have a giant knuckle of ginger root. I also have a dish of dried elderberries. I also have some peppercorns, and then some thyme, and of course some oregano, because it's kind of the miracle herb. And then I have apple cider vinegar, and that one has the mother in it. So it's a very simple process. As I begin filling these jars, I'm going to explain to you what it is that I'm putting in the jar and what is the benefit of it. And then we'll talk about some other things of how you can make the fire cider to cater to your special needs. You'll also notice that I start with this quart jar, and then midway through I realize that I have entirely too much stuff to fit in that jar, and so I have to transfer everything over into the larger jar just by using a canning funnel. No big deal. So I ended up making a much larger jar than I originally intended, which is totally fine. I should start off by saying I'm not a medical professional, and this information is not medical information. That being said, let's get into what we're doing here with the jars. So I'm just layering all the items that I have on my cutting board in the jar. I don't know if necessarily matters. Some people may want a very beautiful jar to start out with. I feel like somewhere in the back of my brain that it allows everything to kind of intermix and intermingle a little bit better. But let's face it, you shake this jar daily, ain't nothing gonna stay pretty for very long. So it doesn't really necessarily matter, except for the fact if you're limited on the size of jar, then perhaps you want to layer it so that if you end up with a little bit extra onion, you don't have to go all the way back to the bottom and try to dig out the onion in order to fit the rest of your lemon or ginger or something like that. Do you see what I mean? So if you layer it, if you end up with just a smidge extra, it's okay. At least you got some in the jar already. Okay, So of the things that I'm putting in, I got some garlic and onion, and those are both known to be antibacterial and antifungal. They're good antioxidants and they help with detoxification. I'm throwing some ginger in there, which is also an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. It helps with indigestion and circulation. I'm putting some jalapenos in there. However, you can put some cayenne peppers if you'd like. And that's going to help with circulation, metabolism, your immune support, and any mucus that you may develop during a cold. I ground up some peppercorns, which are going to help with some digestion. Of course, the lemon that's getting put in there is going to be an excellent source of vitamin C and give a nice flavor and a zing to it. I added some dried thyme, which is an expectorant. It's antibacterial, and it can support the respiratory system. Now, the oranges are very similar to the lemons. It's going to have the vitamin C and it's going to help with the flavor. And it's also said to be anti-inflammatory and help with your digestion. Oh, I did add in some elderberries, which are antioxidants, anti-inflammatory. They add some potassium, folate, vitamin C, and vitamin A. There's a few other things that can be added that I did not put in, would be some cranberries that's antioxidant properties. It also is said to have vitamin C and A and manganese and potassium. Rosemary, I'm not a fan of the flavor of rosemary, so I would not be putting it in mine. That would be something that you want to consider when making this. What flavors do you like and dislike? I don't like rosemary, but you could also put in some sage, oregano, which is something that I did put in there, which is kind of a super herb. Lemon balm, and if you have only dried herbs versus fresh, you're going to put in slightly less dried than you would the fresh herbs. You could also use rose hips, turmeric, and horseradish. And the horseradish is going to be antibacterial, antifungal, and fight infection, which I wish I had some of that right now, but I don't because that food desert I talked about. So the turmeric is antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. Rose hips is vitamin C and helps with digestion. Okay, as you can see here, I'm really trying my best to try to get all this in there and just to be able to use this jar and maybe a secondary jar, but at some point along I have given up and decided that there's not enough air pockets in the world to fit all my stuff in there. So I will give it up and switch over to a bigger jar. Okay, so now that I'm in a life-size jar, I'm going to go ahead and top this off with an apple cider vinegar. I want to make sure that everything is fully submerged and I have the vinegar up at the top. I want to leave a few inches at the top of my jar so that I have some room to shake that up and redistribute all the items inside. I'm going to put it in a cool, dark place outside of any chance of sunlight, and every day I'm going to shake it. And then in about 2 to 4 weeks or 3 to 6 weeks, whatever fits your fancy, you're going to go and take it and you're going to strain it, retaining all of that juice. Do not pour that down your drain. Okay, put a bowl, get a strainer. If it still comes out a little bit gritty, maybe the herbs are getting through your strainer, go ahead and put some cheesecloth in that strainer and strain it again. And then you're going to retain all that juice in a jar, again, putting it in a cool, dry, dark, covered somewhere. And every day you're going to take about a tablespoon of that. And if you get sick, then you should be doing about 3 of those a day. Now you can take it straight. You can add some water to it. You can add some local honey to give it a little sweeter taste, or for a vegan option, some maple syrup. Now they say that if this is stored properly, it can last up to 6 months in your cupboard, maybe a year in the fridge. Let me clarify just a smidge on the honey or the maple syrup. You can add that directly into your main master jar if you'd like, and so that every time you just pour out your tablespoon, it's already sweetened, or you can add that at the time. That's totally up to you. I think a lot of people put the honey into their master jar though. All right, if you have a lot of things going on in your life, then go ahead and put a date on this jar so that you know when you made it and you know when it's due to check and to strain off. And there you are, fire cider. Pretty easy. You don't have to be very particular about it. You want to get those core things. You want to get some antioxidants, some anti-inflammatory, some antibacterial stuff going on. You want to get some vitamin C in there. So whatever it is you can pick and as close to organic as you can do, that would be excellent. But anything else works just the same.